Hello, everyone. We are live here today, bringing you guys the Galorant Training Grounds Best of One group stages. We have Team Eden versus Team WolFEs here today on Icebox. Winter, I am excited. How are you feeling?
Feeling good. I'm sure we've seen both of these teams match up before, but I know there's probably been some roster changes since it has been a whole season since we've seen either of these teams, and we're starting off strong, hopefully. And it's exciting to see Icebox in our pool versus other maps we typically see a bit more commonly. And it looks like Wolves are ready to go with their roster, and Eden's looking to see what they want to finalize. Maybe we'll see a second duelist coming out of them from Kauai, but I'm not entirely sure yet. But I'm excited to see the Viper coming out from Chicken on the side
Absolutely.
of Wolves.
With Viper's
Select
new
your
new buffs,
agent.
I think this is going to be a really awesome display of her new ability to just shut down the map, right? And cut it off with that wall and everything. So that's going to be really exciting.
it's it's interesting that Eden has opted to go without the Sage here on Icebox, which oftentimes is seen as a necessity on this map because you can just close off so much map control, and it usually helps secure the plant.
Absolutely. It's really interesting they opt for the Killjoy as opposed to a Sage, and I'm excited to see if they can really get that site lockdown control as you see with the Killjoy as opposed to the Sage wall just sort of only being able to block off, one small area of the map. So it's going to be really exciting and we're going to hop into it. And Team Eden's going to be starting on defense whereas WolFEs will be attacking.
Yeah, and so we're seeing Eden on defense, correct? And
Correct, yeah.
I'm interested to see where the Killjoy decides to set up. And I feel like B or mid tends to be her stronger setup on this map. Correct me if you think otherwise. um, just because the turret has such long sight lines, and the
Mhm.
alarm bot is able to just shut down Kitchen in a similar fashion to how Sage is able to. But it looks like
Time
Wolves
out.
is opting to go for what looks to be potentially an A rush, but hopefully an A finish. Let's see.
Absolutely, and all five members of WolFEs going over toward the A side of the map. Sova drone coming through. And we'll have to see if this is a full commit on WolFEs or if this is just a kind of a fake out. But Pain Shell's coming through, a Boombot as well, doing some damage on 2 Days Dreams there. And the rotates coming out
Right here.
from Team Eden.
And it looks like they've slowed down a bit as they see all this utility coming out, but it does look like they're going to commit onto this site, Lindsay.
Yeah, here comes the full execute on site. Yuli getting a pick on Volatile there.
Planted.
Spike will go down, but the defense coming through with a quick
One enemy
retake.
remaining.
Lulz Cam getting two, Kulak getting one as well. It's a 5v1 for Valkyrie. The Spike getting defused right now. Lulz Cam picks up the final kill of the round. That goes to Team Eden on defense.
Ah, meus amores, we live another day.
It's a really good round for Eden to win because typically the pistol round will snowball into having 2 rounds on your side. And on Icebox, I feel like we tend to see the attackers having a bit more of an advantage here, since the rotations just are so long for the defender side. But Wolves just were a bit too slow and allowed for those rotations to come through for Eden, so it didn't even matter that the rotations are long for the defender side.
Exactly. They were able to just come over to the A site really fast. Team Eden was there to stop the push. And they're waiting here for the Sova Dart. They're going to shoot it automatically so that it gets no tags on any of the players of WolFEs. It's very slow here, Winter.
But we do see Spike on a member going towards A, and it looks like they're looking for a bit more of a flank, but they're just stalling out in this lobby area, and the drone will be able to spot Dazed here, which does seem to be pulling rotations through, Lindsay.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 3 members of Team Eden already on the A site. Killjoy still locking down, but look, the Scout's going to spot this rotation coming through from the attackers. Scout able to see one, going to fall off that. But the info is all she needs to know that this team is making their rotate. So Team Eden will have to start moving over. Colette able to pick up one as the
Spike down, B.
WolFEs make their way onto the B site. Is she able to get 2? Yes, she is. And that's 3 for Colette there.
One enemy
Spike
remaining.
going down. Kawaii picking up 1 as well with her Spectre. The updraft coming through. Yuli from the backside with her Frenzy, picking up the last kill of the round. And that's a flawless from Team Eden.
And it's also a very unfortunate round for Wolves here because not everyone on the side of Eden decided to force into that round, so they should still be able to buy rifles into this round and have a fairly even matchup against Wolves. And they weren't even able to take down a single member of Eden, and so Eden's economy is sitting really pretty right now, Lindsay.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a couple rifles from Team Eden, but also a couple SMGs. And so this is going to be a really, good round to see if Eden can pick up a third round for them. And if they can do so, I mean, their economy is going to be stunning, right? As we could say. But as Team WolFEs is sort of toward the mid side of the map, that Viper wall is going to go up in mid, maybe cut off the map. And even a Sage wall coming up here. Making their way up to kitchen as Volatile leads the push. Kawaii's gonna hear it. She gets a dink on to Volatile there. She's gonna fall off, but that's all the info she needs as Team Eden starts to rotate on over. Now it's looking like a full PX team. Cam picking up 1, Scout picking up 1 as well. It's a 4v3 for Team Eden. The spike is currently in the kitchen area of the map. Sova darts coming from both sides. And they look pretty pinched here, Winter.
They're waiting for this jet, hoping they can get the pick, but it goes the side of Valkyrie,
30
luckily.
seconds left.
And now they've got that 2v3, Lindsay.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Valkyrie and
One enemy remaining.
and Scout are pretty low. Cam picks up another. It's a 1v3 for Cynical here. She does have a Phantom. But we'll have to see if she can win this 1v3 as Sova. One coming up on the flank is Scout. Have to see if she picks her up here. And Scout able to pick up the final of the round. Pick up that Phantom as well. And what a great round for Team Eden. Able to turn over their sort of bonus round and pick up rifles, Winter.
I'd really like to see Wolves here apply a bit more pressure at the start of their rounds. They're just like, they're stalling out in lobby areas with all 5 of them there, and they're not taking gun battles, and they're only getting a little bit of utility out when they show presence, and they could be catching rotations off guard if they decide to go for a bit of a default with the slower play, and they could attempt to take a bit more pressure on just either side of the map. But they're just grouping up here, and the defense is reading really well into it, and just every time they have to go into a site, it's already stacked against them.
Absolutely agree with you. I think something heavy and something fast could benefit Team WolFEs here, and maybe we'll see that coming on to the B site. A little bit of a save round from Team WolFEs. We'll have to see if they can convert some weapons over to their side as they attempt to hit B. Killjoy on Kulot already locking down this site. Daydream popping the run it back, able to get one. Tries to take down the turret with her.
Destroyed.
It's a 5v4 for Team WolFEs. Kulot picking up 1. Kawaii picking up 1 as well. And it's a 4v3 for Team Eden on the retake. The members of Team Eden about to get on the spike. Hot hands coming through. Will it hit the bomb? Ash Chicken picking up 1. Really picking up 1 as well. Kulot on the flank. It's a 1v2 for Ash Chicken, but Kulot will take her down. And unfortunately, even with the snake bite, the round goes to Team Eden.
They lost that round. It was a really good save round coming out from Wolves. They decided to commit that Phoenix ult and they got a pick off of it, and they were able to take down 3 of the defenders and just do a lot more damage than they have been able to do in past rounds. But that isn't going to harm Eden's economy in this situation just because they've been able to gather so many rounds so far. And I hope we can see that same aggression coming out from them in future rounds.
Absolutely. Maybe we're looking at sort of a similar look on the B site, but with rifles this time from Team WolFEs. We're kind of just slow in the B lobby area, not really giving much info, not really taking much info either. So we'll have to see if Team WolFEs decides to go for another B hit here.
The drone coming out from A, along with this Viper wall that's about to go up, should give Eden all of the intel they need to rotate over to B. So this hit may just be a little bit too late if Eden reads into it fast enough.
Absolutely. It
Found
looks
them.
like here comes the B
Bomb
hit.
grenade out.
Kulak calling for her teammates to come help her out as Team WolFEs goes toward the B site, and the spike will go down.
Spike planted.
And it's a 5v5 retake for Team Eden as the sprays come through, as well as those blast packs, and Cynical Windmill will take down Kulak. It's a 3v5 currently as Valkyrie picks up Lol's Cam. Kwai picks up one on Volatile, and now it's just a 3v4. That paranoia coming through. And we'll
There's Furies on the side of Wolves, Lindsay.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll have to see if that comes through here as the spike ticks down with last few seconds. Valkyrie picks up a 4K, I believe, for Valkyrie right there. Oh my goodness. Able to just clean up shop and take their first round for Team WolFEs.
Maybe it's just that Wolves is doing far better on the B side than they were on A, because Eden just has a lot of intel on the side on A side, and all they have on B is that Killjoy looking to lock it down, but she hasn't been able to stop the plant with her nano swarms, which is usually what we'll see coming out of a Killjoy playing on B site. But even though they've found success on this B site, it looks like Wolves is deciding to go for an A take.
Yeah, absolutely. And we now see Kwai on an operator with Jet, so that'll be really interesting to see if that brings any value for Team Eden. But this Viper wall has been very indicative of where Team Wolves wants to go. So we'll have to see if this is a full A commit. And the curveball's coming through from Day's Dreams as she looks to take the site. Team Eden looks like they're falling off to the screens area, but Yuli brings out the showstopper, able to connect. Kulak picks up one, Yuli another with the showstopper. It's a 5v2 retake. Bulls Cam picks up one, as well as Scout, and holy moly, what a quick work for Team Eden to make it 5-1.
And Lindsay, you brought it up, but as soon as that Viper's wall went down, two of the defenders just instantly rotated because they know that Wolves likes to just commit to wherever they put the Viper wall, and Wolves hasn't really read into that yet. They don't know how much this Viper wall is giving away what they're pushing. I'd like to see them be able to condition a bit more of putting a fake wall somewhere and then just trying to rush into the other site, even though they know they don't have the same amount of smokes to bring them into the site. There may be less defenders because of the fake thrown.
I completely agree with you. I would love to see a fake wall with that toxic screen. I think that would be really beneficial for Team WolFEs here, but looking like a mid-take with Day's Dream sort of taking space on the B site. Scout will pick up one on Valkyrie in the mid portion of the map. Spike heading towards B. It's a 5v4 for Team Eden. We'll have to see what Kwai can do on this operator. See if she's able to get a pick on a Day's Dreams here. We'll spot her out. Spike is going to be planted on the B site with a 5v4 retake, but two attackers of Ash Ticken and Volatile are still in mid. And we'll have to see how that plays out here. Kulak picking up one on Ash Chicken. And now Volatile with the big lurk. We'll have to see if that pays off for her. It's a 5v3. Hunter's Fury coming through. Bulls Cam chasing the Hunter's Fury and will pick her up. And it's a 1v2. Bulls Cam, she gets one. It's a 1v1. Spike ticking down. It's at a halfway point. Volatile. Is she gonna peek her? Oh my goodness, Lol's Cam with the stick able to pick up the round for Team Eden.
It's really unfortunate that Volatile was just a bit too late on that lurk coming back to the site in that 1v1 to be able to take down the diffuser. But I think Wolves is doing a lot
Can I get
better
thanks?
with this B site. I really hope they continue to go this way. And I really want to see Eden try to switch up how they're holding it as well.
Alarm bot out.
Because the
Bot coming back.
Jet Op was just holding from Snowman and wasn't getting much use out of that hold.
Yeah, not much value coming from there, but we're looking at full rifles on both sides and maybe a bit of a default, but Volatile, oh my goodness, already up into Kitchen. Just a fast push from her behalf, but the Spike and the rest of her team is heading towards B. I will have to see if Scout can hold it down here. Unable to pick up one. Ass Chicken with the frag onto Scout, as the Spike will be able to make its way toward the B side and go down. Days Dreams with the run it back, able to get a lot of value and a lot of space for Team WolFEs here, as the Spike goes down in the 3v5 retake for Team Eden. The lockdown coming down from Poulat here. See how much space she can gather, as Volatile though on the late lurk in mid. Hunter's Fury as well coming down from Lol's Cam. A lot of ultimate usage. The Spike ticking down. Owl Drone coming from Cynical. Volatile picks up Poulat here. It's a 2v3.
Last player standing.
Lol's Cam able to pick up one, and as well as Kawaii, but Team WolFEs picks up the round.
And Volatile got a 4K in that round. Her lurk has just been so huge towards mid here, and even in that last round, her lurk did so much power, even though the Eden had 3 players towards mid. They had both duelists, they had Killjoy utility, but they weren't able to shut her down.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this lurk is becoming really beneficial to Team WolFEs. Just not playing with 5 players together. It's playing, you know, with a little bit of a default, a little bit of a different look, and we're sending Team Eden into a save round. So it's a slow look here onto the B side again, with Volatile working her way in mid, as we saw last round. We'll have to see if this similar look is able to be beneficial.
Jig is up. They know she's here off of that turret contact and this alarm bot.
Woo-wee! Coulat with the judge. She said to stay out of the kitchen, and able to pick up the frag there and a rifle. It's a 5v4 for Team Eden. Another slow look toward B.
But
I mean,
Wolf's getting pinched here.
Yeah, Team
Kawhi's
Eden
on
is
the
completely
back.
rotated. Yup. Oh, but Days Dreams is able to spot her in an instant rotate from Team WolFEs. We'll have to see if they completely execute toward A, and Team Eden seems to be reading that. They seem to know that this is sort of what's going on here.
Swarm grenade out.
Coulat able to pick up one
30
on
seconds
to
left.
Days
You
Dreams.
will not
UV with
kill
the
my
judge. Valkyrie walling off behind them. This is a full
Last
execute.
player standing. Spike
And Scout
down
left
A.
in the 1v3 as the trades come through for the members of Team Wolf.
Spike planted.
Scout and her Stinger in the 1v3. See what she can do here, maybe take off some guns. But the Viper's Pit coming through here from Ash Chicken. Scout tries to bring out the paranoia, but Days Dream stops her in her tracks. And Team WolFEs picks up another round.
Viper's Pit there was a bit of an overcommittal on the side of Wolves there, because it was a 3v1 and she only had a Stinger, but they didn't know she only had a Stinger, but it's still a 3v1. They should be able to trade out those fights. But Wolves is still left with the ult economy advantage here, since they have Days Dreams, Phoenix ult online. I think this is the 3rd time she's got it in this game, Lindsay.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of value, and I like that she's using it consistently and constantly, right? She's always using it when she has it, and it's able to just open up a lot of space for her team, and I think that's brought a lot of success. But this toxic screen is going to go up on the A site, but it doesn't look like a full commitment, so we might see this rotate you've been talking about, Winter.
They could be going for the fake here. It really looks like they're trying to make this decision. They don't know if they want to go in yet or not. They don't really have any intel on how the defense has moved here. And hopefully that recon dart will be able to clarify a bit, but it only spots one, Lindsay.
And there's still 3 members on the side of Team Eden, but Daydreams is going to open up the site with the run it back. Let's see how much value she gets out of it. Not much, she just knows that there are members of Team Eden on the site. Ash Chicken picks up 1 on Kulat, and it is a 4v5 retake for Team Eden on the A site. Cynical Windmill spots 1, but Yuli instantly trades it out. It's a 3v4 retake for Team Eden. Daydreams picks up 1 as well as another. Yuli stops her inner track, but Valkyrie instantly gets the trade. Team WolFEs picks up their 4th.
Even though Day's run it back got instantly shut down there, Ash Chicken was able to trade her out instantly. So she still made a lot of space for her team and was able to just entry them onto the site and get that bomb down and put them into an advantageous position.
And it's really interesting. She's already 3 out of 6 on her next run it back, which is just insane value, right, for her team and able to just entry.
That's how
She
you
might be
survive.
even able to get one before the last round, and they've forced Eden here onto a save, it looks like. They have a couple of rifles online, but they know that this is the second to last round, so they have to be able to go into that last round strong.
Absolutely. And we're looking at sort of a default here from Team WolFEs. I kind of like this slow but gathering intel type of approach, and Volatile will spot out Lul's cam in mid. I think this is good. This is a nice info gathering type of push. I think they'll be able to gather more info on where they want to go.
I'm laughing a little here because I saw Valkyrie have a flash on her face and it came from Dazed.
Sometimes you just flash your teammates, you know? Gotta say hello. Gotta wake them up a little bit. But it looks like that second flash is going to be onto the B sites, and a full take here from Team WolFEs. It's fast and furious as the spike will go down onto site. It's a 5v5 retake once again for these two teams. Yuli popping the showstopper, able to take Volatile off guard in the 5v4 retake on Team Eden's save rounds. Valkyrie takes down Hawaii in the smoke, but Scout on the flank, able to pick up 1. Daydreams instantly trading them both out. Yuli takes out Ash Chicken, but Daydreams in the 1v1. Lul's cam here, tapping the bomb. The bomb is at half. Daydreams rushing. Daydreams able on the 4K to pick up Lul's cam before the spike is diffused. And Team WolFEs brings it to 6-5.
Last round before the switch.
And she has another run it back into this round, as we discussed before, Lindsay.
Yup.
That run it back should be able to entry your team onto the site, and they also have the Hunter's Fury online, so they should have this post play on lock, unless maybe we see another big lurk coming out from the side of Eden, but they also have lockdown online for this retake. They just need to be conscious of knowing they need to take down that Hunter's Fury.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be really interesting in this last round of the half to see how these ultimates come into play and are used from both sides. I'm looking like a little bit of an A rush, you could say. I wonder if Daydreams is about to pop the run it back here to open up the site, or if they're just going to bait it out. The Team Eden instantly rotating over here. A lot of utility exchange from both sides. About a minute left for this before the spike needs to be planted, but looks like Team WolFEs is going to be rotating out Winter.
And they threw up that wall as a fake to show that they might be committing onto that site, but they'll come across Kawaii here since she's anchored all the way onto B, and Yuli may be able to catch the rotation through mid.
Yeah, and Kawaii should be hearing these footsteps as the run it back is popped. Daydreams entering onto the site. Cynical Windmill on the lurk in mid takes down Kawaii as the site is completely opened up for Daydreams. She picks up 1 on the backside of Snowman, and it's a 3v5 retake. Lockdown is still available for Kulat here as she picks up 1 onto Valkyrie in the 2v4.
Initiated.
Lockdown going down here on the B site. Trying to just take some space. knowing that members of Team WolFEs are scattered throughout the site, probably on
No
the
more
backside.
Sova.
Kula picks up one. Is she able to get another?
player
No, Ash
standing.
Chicken trades her out. Yuli in the 1v3. Spike ticking down. Picks up one onto Ash Chicken. Spike running out of time, unsure of where these players are. And Volatile picks up the final frag of the half, and it's tied 6-6.
Switching sides.
Day's Dream is just going off in this lobby. She's at the top of her team. She's had, I don't know, 4 or 5 run it backs just in one half. And I don't know if she'll be able to do the same on the defensive side here, though, because Eden should be able to read into where she's holding and know to avoid her. So I really, I'm gonna love to see how the rest of Wolves' team is able to hold up here, because they can't just depend on the entry on the defensive side.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a lot of strongholds necessary from Team WolFEs to stop Team Eden, but we're looking at sort of an A hit here from Team Eden, at least looks.
Scanning ahead.
Cynical Windmill lining up her recon bolt, trying to spot them out in mid, but won't pick up any on the dart. Volatile picks up a frag onto Kulat here from Pipes. Unable to pick up another as Kawaii picks up the trade. And Team Eden will be making their way onto the site. Yuli with the frenzy picks up one as well. Oh my goodness, the frenzy
Spike
show is
planted.
going on here in the 4v2 retake for Team WolFEs. Ash Chicken and Day's Dreams need to
Last
be
player
the
standing.
heroes for their team, but Kawaii picks up another. Ash Chicken in a 1v4 on this pistol round for Team Eden. And Kawaii picks up another with that frenzy. Boy, oh boy, what a powerful weapon on pistol round Winter.
Yeah, that frenzy's just really hard to react to, especially since its movement and accuracy is just, it feels so little with the running gun in this game. But I think something else I spotted in that round is Ash Chicken and Daze decided to take a bit more of an aggressive stance on B, and they pushed up towards the orb, but as soon as they heard that they were committing onto A site, they decided to go for a full rotation through their spawn, rather than committing to a flank. And I would like to see them try to go for that flank the next time around when
Revealing
they have
area.
good weapons.
Absolutely, but we're seeing, again, an aggressive approach from Valkyrie, and we'll get taken down by Kawaii here as Team Eden makes their way toward the B site. We'll have to see how much this toxic screen from Viper is able to stop the push. Lulz Cam bringing out the Owl drone to spot and clear out the site. And the spike is going to make its way onto B. Days Dreams takes out Scout
Spike
on the
down,
planter,
B.
and the spike goes down on site. As Yuli takes out Ash Chicken with the Stinger, as well as White
Player
takes out one, and Yuli with another. Days Dreams gets another with the Ghost, and it's a 1v2 for Days Dreams.
One enemy remaining.
Gets
Spike
fourth.
down B.
And she's battling it out here, but Kawaii takes her down with the knives. And what a round! Oh my goodness.
That was such a good save round on the side of Wolves. They got it down to 1 player for Eden, and they forced Kawaii to commit her jet knives into the round. And to have such a powerful ultimate offline just used on their second round force is pretty detrimental. And off of her 4K, Dazed also has her run it back up once again.
Absolutely, and now she has a rifle in her hand, so she is ready to use this run it back whenever she deems necessary.
Revealing area.
It looks like Ian's gonna be playing right into her here as they go for a B take.
I like
As
this
soon as
mid
I say
push
that, they
here.
switch for mid.
Yup, exactly. But I like this mid push from Kawaii. She's able to take a lot of space for her team. I mean, she's already in CT spawn here. Spam's coming through. Kawaii able to take that one, but immediately traded out by Days Dreams. As Team Eden backs up and decides where they want to take this hit toward.
Got that kitchen control, but once you get into these close angles, it's hard to get that spike down and have good post plant positions. But Yuli immediately getting a kill onto A, and that might force the rotations through Lindsay.
Absolutely, and I think Yuli on that sort of lurk position, able to pick up the kill onto Valkyrie is very beneficial for her team. But Daydreams pops the run it back on the A site, and I think the spike is going to head towards B here, Winter.
Yeah, it looks like Ian's been able to totally fake them out.
30 seconds
and
left.
They've gotten so much. Scout having a bit of trouble planting the spike here. Maybe it might be that she's just trying to give it to Kulat to give Kulat the ult point, but we're seeing Wolves have to go through a bit of a late rotation here, and they still have Yuli on their flank, Lindsay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yuli is on that slow, long flank through the defender's spawn, and we'll have to see if that brings a lot of value for her. Daydream's able to pick up a kill onto Scout here, and it's a 3v2 retake. Cam spots one with her owl
One
drone.
enemy remaining.
Yuli picking up Cynical Windmill over in CT spawn, and it's a huge pick for her. Daydreams with another, it's a 1v2. Spike ticking down. Members on both sides of her, and Cam picks up the final kill of the round, making it 9-6 for Team Eden.
Some of Day's headshots that she's hitting,
Crispy.
I've never had, like, some of them, they have a little bit of luck on them since she's still moving and she still hits the headshot even just like through the wall there. She's performing so well right now.
Absolutely, she is having a game, and we'll have to see if Team Eden can continue to shut it down.
I'm not entirely sure why Yuli was able to get such a powerful lurk there, but I hope that Wolves reads into that and knows that they need to be on the
Scanning
watch
ahead.
for it as it comes forward.
Absolutely, and Daydream's taking a lot of space onto B to see if she's able to pick up one, but no, she's not. Kulat
I have the
immediately
spike.
takes down Daydreams, and it's a 5v4 for
Here.
Team Eden.
See ya.
Kawaii with a great pick onto the A side, another one onto Cynical Windmill, and it's a 5v2. Just a Stinger and a Bucky on the side of Team WolFEs right now on this retake. And I would say this was beautifully executed by
Last
Team
player
Eden.
standing.
Hopefully Valkyrie can try to get a couple of kills here, but it's just a clean anti-eco from Eden, as Wolves didn't have the guns on their side, but they weren't able to take anyone down for Eden, and it was so clean on the side of Eden, as they just take down every single gun. They take those long range fights, even Kawaii going in aggressive with that dash quickly, and I'm not sure how Wolves will be able to counter this aggression.
Yeah, absolutely. Team Eden is playing very aggressively, but they're also giving looks onto different sides of the map, and I really like how they're playing right now. But we'll have to see if Team WolFEs is able to stop this. With rifles on board for both teams, we're looking at a very even round. Slow looks toward A. Kawaii seems to be pinging onto the map and telling her team to be on the lookout. Owl drone coming through. We'll spot out Cynical Windmill. Will she be able to get out? Yes, she will. But it looks like an explosive take onto the A side for Team Eden. The lockdown from Kulat going down to secure this take. 2 HP on Cynical. Can she pick up one here? Unable to, as Kulat picks her up. Yuli brings out the showstopper, does not connect. Kawaii picks up Volatile on the flank, and it's a 5v3 retake for Team WolFEs. Yuli spots out Valkyrie as Daydreams makes her way onto the site, able to pick up one, but instantly traded, and the trades coming through for Team Eden on their post plant brings this game to 11-6.
Every single one of Eden's attacker rounds here have been so clean, and Wolves haven't been able to pick up a single one, and Eden just was able to commit 2 ults there and pair them so well together with the lockdown and the showstopper. The showstopper able to take out anyone who's trying to hide in the corners of the lockdown, and it's really hard for Wolves to adapt here because Eden's just going for different strategies each round, as it looks like they're going for a bit more of a default as opposed to the rush that they've gone for in previous rounds.
I really like the looks that Eden is giving right here. The really aggressive sort of takes, but then kind of just falling off, trying to give looks to different sides of the map. Kind of scare off Team WolFEs a little bit. And we're going back sort of into a slow push here from Team Eden as the spams come through into kitchen. Kawaii picks up one on the cynical windmill. Valkyrie is able to trade out though with Kawaii, and the Owl Drone opening up the B site as Days Dreams pops to run it back into mid. See if she's able to get value. Yuli takes out the ultimate. It's 4v4. The spike still on the B site as all members of Team WolFEs are in mid right now. Team Eden deciding where they want to take the spike. I think they're going for a bit of a reset, but they're going to re-hit B here, which I think is a good
30
idea.
seconds left.
We're going to see if the spike goes down. Kulat picks up a great kill onto Valkyrie. The site now completely open for Team Eden to take, but the defenders are close, and it's a 3v3 retake for Team WolFEs as they come funneling into site. The recon dart able to spot out one, but Team Eden on the hold here, hiding behind yellow boxes. Ashtigan takes out Kulat here. Volatile dashing away. Ashtigan picks up another. It's a 1v2 for Scout. Spike is tapped.
One enemy remaining.
Scout picks up one. Is she able to pick up the second? Yes, she is. Scout with the clutch. It's 12-6 for Team Eden.
Round got really focused on Yuli's presence towards mid, as we saw every single defender collapse onto her. But I wish we had seen Eden take a bit more space off of that, since they knew those rotations were coming through. But it was still a clean round for them, as Scout was able to clutch it out. And we'll see if they're able to close this out, because they've just been such a dominant force on their attacking side.
Absolutely, they're really able to work well off each other and take these rounds, and I like their sort of default that they kind of fall to here, but looks like they're looking strong toward A, possibly holding flanks from B. The wall will go up from Viper on the A site here. Volatile holding. That Boombot will spot her out in the close corner as the paint shells come flying through. We'll have to see if this is where Team Eden decides to take the spike and the execute. These members stack up, and it looks like it's about to be an execute for Team Eden. Volatile unable to pick up one as Yuli takes the frag. Viper's Pit, however, comes through onto the A site, and Team Eden says, never mind. No thank you, we will be leaving. Valkyrie picks up Kawaii on the flank, but Kulat instantly trades her out. It's a 4v3. Yuli on this lurk, Winter. I think this is going to be powerful once again.
As soon as that Viper's Pit goes down, she'll have so much control on A, but it looks like Wolves is reading into this rotation as Daze is sprinting over towards B, hopefully prevent this plant, but the plant should be able to go down somewhat cleanly here.
Daze Dreams looking up from above, able to take down the planter.
Spike down
as
B.
the spike goes down. 15 seconds remaining in order to get this spike down. It's a 3v3.
10 seconds left.
And the lockdown coming down from Kulat to hopefully open up the site. The spike must go down. 4 seconds remaining in the 2v2. The spike no longer has enough time to be planted. And that's a round nonetheless for Team WolFEs.
A lot of that round came down to how indecisive Eden was on deciding to commit towards A there. The Wolves were able to stall them out, and then Daze just had a really good position on second floor of B to just take down the planter every time they tried, and because they lacked that Sage Wall, it was just really hard for them to secure that plant with so little time left.
Yeah, absolutely. That Viper's Pit sort of put a stop in the tracks of Team Eden in that round, and we're looking at a 12-7 scoreline here. Team Eden looks toward the B site, where Daze Dreams is peeking ahead, and we'll spot them out. slow takes here from Team Eden as they creep up toward the B site. The boom bot going to clear out the yellow boxes. Valkyrie perched up onto the pillar of B site. The Allozone won't spot her as the Team Eden just comes through, and Kulat here on the run by, able to pick up one. Kulat picks up another, and it's a 5v3 retake for Team WolFEs. Cynical Windmill coming through kitchen. The recon
Scanning
bolt
ahead.
coming through, but the attackers have scattered into the spawn of Team WolFEs. 5v2, both members in the kitchen. Volatile picks up one. The Blade Storm coming through from Kawaii.
One enemy
Volatile picks
remaining.
up another scout. Trades onto Cynical Windmill. It's a 1v2 for Volatile as the spike ticks down on its time. Not much time remaining. Volatile must tap the spike. The turret doing damage as well as the swarm grenades. And Team
Attackers
Eden
win.
picks up the game 13-7. What a great game, Winter.
And Wolves have really struggled on their defense there. I think a lot of it came down to that agent difference of not having that sentinel to hold down sites. They do have the sage, but they don't have like a killjoy to keep a site on lock. And they didn't go for the aggression to get that early intel to try to get those picks to hold the sites a bit stronger. And but overall, Ian was looking really strong on their attack there as well, with being able to adapt every single round. They were switching between defaults, between rushes, taking it a bit slow, getting utility out, seeing where the defenders were, and rotating off of that knowledge. And it was really good on their side. And I'm excited to see how they'll continue to pan out through these group stages, Lindsay.
Yeah, absolutely. And with that great game will be followed by WolFEs versus Hypnosis next up. And the Galorant Training Grounds Open Stages best of ones. And I'm excited to see what comes next. But thank you for tuning in and stick around for the next matches.